I have an album done, which was the Barnstorm album, the first solo album I did, and I'm mowing the lawn.
Joe Walsh is an American rock singer, songwriter, and multi-instrumentalist. In a career spanning more than 50 years, he's been a member of 3 successful rock bands, James Gang, Eagles, and Ringo Starr in his all-star band. Walsh was also part of the New Zealand band Herbs. In the 1990s, he was a member of the short-lived supergroup The Best. Walsh also experienced success both as a solo artist and as a prolific session musician, being featured on a wide array of other artists' recordings. In 2011, Rolling Stone placed him at the number 54 spot on its list of 100 greatest guitarists of all time.
I have committed. I'm in Colorado. It's too late to regret the James Gang, the Rocky Mountain Way.
If you enjoy these videos, please remember to hit the like button, as it does help us out a lot. And comment below who your favorite celebrity is that you'd love to see in an upcoming video. His full name is Joseph Fiddler Walsh, but is also known as Joe. He was born November 20th, 1947 in Wichita, Kansas, making him 74 at the time of this production. He stands at 5 feet 10 inches tall. Walsh is active in charity work and has performed in a number of concerts to raise money for charitable causes. He's also been a personal contributor to a number of charity causes, including halfway houses for displaced adult women in Wichita, Kansas. Walsh funded the first talent-based scholarship at Kent State University in 2008. Walsh's love of Santa Cruz Island grew into a lifelong commitment to conserve the environment there, and he's been active in preserving the island's parks. He's president of the Santa Cruz Island Foundation and has served on the foundation's board since the 1980s. Walsh was married to Margie Walsh in the 1960s, Stephanie Rhodes from 1971 to 1978, Juanita Boyer from 1980 to 1988, and Denise Driscoll from 1999 to 2006. Walsh and Stevie Nicks had a well-publicized fling in the 80s. He married Marjorie Bach in December 2008. Walsh's eldest daughter, Emma Kristen, died at age 3 due to a car accident on her way to nursery school. Walsh's daughter, Lucy Walsh, is also a solo musician.
Front range of the Rocky Mountains with snow on them in the summer.
Right.
And it knocked me back because it was just beautiful.
Walsh was born to his father, Lieutenant Robert Newton Fiddler, who was a flight instructor for the Lockheed F-80 Shooting Star in the United States Air Force, and died in a plane crash in Okinawa on July 22, 1949. Walsh's mother was a classically trained pianist of Scottish and German ancestry. Walsh was adopted by his stepfather at the age of 5 and given his stepfather's surname, but retained Fiddler as his middle name. In the 1950s, it was common practice for Social Security, school registration, and health records for children to take the name of their stepfather. Walsh and his family lived in Columbus, Ohio for a number of years during his youth. When Walsh was 12 years old, his family moved to New York City. Later, Walsh moved to Montclair, New Jersey, and he attended Montclair High School, where he played oboe in the school band. Walsh got his first guitar at the age of 10. And upon learning the Ventures' Walk, Don't Run, decided that he wanted to pursue a career as a guitarist. Inspired by the success of the Beatles, he replaced Bruce Hoffman as the bass player in the local popular music group, the Nomads, in Madison, New Jersey, beginning his career as a rock musician. After high school, Walsh attended Kent State University, where he spent time in various bands playing around the Cleveland area, including the Measles. The Measles recorded for Super K Productions' Ohio Express the songs I Find I Think of You, And It's True, and Maybe, an instrumental version of And It's True. Walsh majored in English and minored in music. He was present during the Kent State Massacre in 1970. Walsh commented in 2012, "Being at the shootings really affected me profoundly. I decided that maybe I don't need a degree that bad." After one term, he dropped out of college to pursue his musical career. After leaving school, Joe Walsh reached a national audience when he became lead guitarist of the James Gang. The James Gang opened up for The Who on a European tour and had several minor hits, including Funk No. 49, which highlighted his skills as both a singer and a guitarist. Walsh left James Gang in 1972 and formed Barnstorm with college friend Joe Vitale and bassist Kenny Passarelli. The band stayed together for 3 years and produced 3 albums. Their last album, 1974's So What, contained many guest contributions from several members of the Eagles. Walsh's producer, Bill Shumchuk, was also the producer of the Eagles, and Shumchuk suggested Walsh join the Eagles. In 1975, Walsh joined the Eagles as the band's guitarist and keyboardist, replacing their founding member, Bernie Layden. As luck would have it, the first album released by the Eagles after Walsh joined the group was Hotel California. With 32 million copies sold, Hotel California became the group's second best-selling album of all time, behind their greatest hits album, which sold 42 million copies. The singles from the album included Hotel California and Life in the Fast Lane. The hard-rocking fast tune Life in the Fast Lane was based around a riff by Walsh and reached number 11 on the charts. The next year, the Eagles released their first compilation album, their greatest hits 1971 to 1975, which became the highest-selling album of the 20th century in the United States. Their next album, 1979's The Long Run, took 2 years to complete and was considered a disappointing follow-up by some critics compared to Hotel California, but still proved a huge commercial hit for the band. The album topped the charts and sold 7 million copies. 3 top 10 singles by Walsh received considerable airplay: Heartache Tonight, The Long Run, and I Can't Tell You Why. The Eagles split up in 1980 and took a 14-year hiatus. Meanwhile, Walsh went his own separate way entirely. Walsh had already forged a solo career while part of the Eagles, releasing albums such as So What, You Can't Argue with the Sick Mind, and 1978's But Seriously Folks. Following the breakup of the Eagles, he continued to release solo albums throughout the 80s, although sales never quite met the same level of his earlier successes. He released There Goes the Neighborhood in 1981, and it peaked at number 20. The album spawned just 1 single, but it went on to become one of Walsh's most popular tunes, A Life of Illusion. In May 1983, Walsh released You Bought It, You Name It, which was largely negatively reviewed by critics. He released 2 more albums in the 80s that were deemed commercial disappointments. Walsh went on to release 4 more albums: 1991's Ordinary Average Guy, Songs for a Dying Planet in 1992, Analog Man in 2012, and 2013's All Night Long live in Dallas. Over the years, Walsh collaborated with countless big names in the music industry, including B.B. King, Dan Fogelberg, Randy Newman, Bob Seger, Ringo Starr, Sheryl Crow, Warren Zevon, and many others.
Because the story said that's giving up the regret of leaving the James Gang. And I got all those words all at once, and I ran into the house to write the words down.
Joe Walsh earned money through his singing and songwriting. He's also earned a great fortune because of his loving fans across different parts of the world. He held a place in the list of 100 greatest guitarists of all time. For his famous song F Number 49, he gained recognition as a skilled guitarist as well as a singer. He's earned money mostly with his singing and songwriting, along with his concerts in different parts of the world. He's said to have done tours and concerts with his bands, earning a lot of money through it. Walsh's net worth is estimated to be around $85 million. For roughly 3 decades, his primary home was a mansion in Studio City, California, which he sold in 2018 for $1.9 million. He owns a second home in the so-called Beverly Hills Post Office area, which he bought in 2008 for $4.5 million. In 2013, Joe paid $3.95 million for a home above Beverly Hills. He listed the home for sale in May 2019 for $5.39 million and ultimately $4.6 million in October 2019. Cars you'll find in his garage include a Maserati Bora, a Volkswagen Jetta, an Audi Q7, an Audi R8, a Ferrari 599 GTB Fiorano, an Aston Martin DB7 Volante, and an Aston Martin DB9 Volante.